part of our job, we watch all the games and we watch all the talk shows. You know, a lot of these people on television, they're cowards because they want the players to like them. They don't want to do their job, which is to tell the truth. And I just want to say this about coaching. Anybody who thinks the reason the Lakers suck is because of Darvin Ham or the reason the Suns suck is because of Frank Vogel, you don't know what you're talking about. Frank Vogel is a hell of a coach. Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach trying to get his career started. But for all you punks, idiots, and jackasses on other networks who want to be media and who want all the players to like y'all, do your damn job. The Lakers suck and the Suns suck because of the players. Has nothing to do with the coaches. I feel better now.
Here, I can tell. Looks like you're getting that off your chest.
I did. I hate it, man. You sit there like,
for
Darvin Ham needs to get fired. Frank Vogel needs to get fired. Who put them teams together? Them trash-ass teams put together need to get fired. Them guys, they didn't just all of a sudden suck as coaches. People who put them teams together, they start packing up their stuff.
A little bit more on the game you just saw, by the way. The Clippers losing at home to Dallas, 123-93, and down 3-2 in that series. Now here's Tyronn Lue.
It's his fault. Tyronn Lue, it's his.
Yeah. Big JTV. Like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, sub. And shout out to Sir Charles, man. Shout out to Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley has been in the media game, the basketball media game, for years now, man. Since the damn early 2000s, before I even got into ball, before I got into hoops. And when he just did that by calling out the pathetic sports take culture, where it's gone to the point where NBA players are not held accountable for playing like trash. And it's always the coach's fault. It's always the coach's fault. I'm not saying that Darvin Ham was, you know what I mean, an amazing coach. But I know that Darvin Ham got the Lakers to the conference championship. And they just met a better team overall. And guess what? The next year, when you would think that the same team, pretty much the same team, got retooled and brought back, right? When you would think that these players would have some pride in them and decide to hoop for real and learn and adjust, and I'm almost 100% sure Darvin Ham made some adjustments, and they didn't, y'all are going to fire or blame Darvin Ham. I absolutely hate it. And who Charles Barkley? Charles Barkley was talking about Nick Wright. Charles Barkley was talking about J.J. Redick. See, Nick Wright, I like Nick Wright, but sometimes he's an effing idiot, dog. He's stupid, and I know he's stupid on purpose because it's about clicks. See, if you want to have a nuanced discussion about basketball, about coaching, about the importance of coaching in basketball, you have to understand that a lot of coaches are not empowered, especially when they have superstars on their team. Let me tell you something, man. The thing about Jokic that makes him such a unique superstar is that he doesn't seem to have the ego and the attitude of a superstar, especially a basketball superstar. Because think about it like this. Jokic is Serbian. He cares more about his horses in Serbia and Belgrade than even winning an NBA championship. He has some perspective. Eastern European countries have went through a lot, and Serbia specifically, right? So for him, his logic and his thinking is, this is a ball game. I'm not better than any other man. That's why he is a pass-first center. You don't see this type of game style but played by any other center in the league. A pass-first center? It's almost at times that Jokic doesn't even want to go for 30 or 40 because he could easily do that every single game if he wanted to. But he's looking for his guys. He's playing team basketball. If you look at Anthony Edwards, he puts in so much effort on the defensive front that Minnesota is a top defensive team, especially when you add Rudy Gobert to the mix. You know what I mean? Even Cat has his efforts on defense. Mike Conley takes defense seriously. They play team basketball. Now look at the other side. You look at the Phoenix Suns. They play ego-driven, your turn, my turn basketball. And if you look at the history of the league, You look at history of just basketball in general, that doesn't work. Especially in this era, especially when you have so many players who are skilled shooters. You know what's so beautiful about, a team like Connecticut, UConn winning the college basketball championship 2 years in a row, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they three-peat. A lot of players, they buy in. A lot of players on UConn, they buy in. Instead of going to smaller programs where they could average 25 plus points, 5 assists, and become a top 5 lottery pick, they decide, hey, we're going to close our eyes, we're going to play our role, we're going to pass the ball a lot, we're going to wait for a good shot, and not just a good shot, a better shot, and then score. We're not going to play ego-driven basketball and fill up the stat sheet and lose. Right? If you look at Purdue, I personally thought Purdue would win it all, but I was wrong, because what they did that was actually genius, UConn, what they did is they said, Zach Edey, we're just going to have barely any defense on you. We know you're not going to pass to any other players. We know you don't want to make your team great. We know you just want to lay in the post and dunk on people and get layups and just fill up your stat sheet. They played the ego of Zach Edey against himself. That's what they did. And guess what happened? Purdue lost in the national championship game. Team basketball, bruh. Look at the Chicago Bulls, man, with Jordan. In the 80s, they were always getting their ass whooped. Why? Because Jordan was playing ego-driven basketball. Until they got Scottie Pippen in there, until they got, real good shooters on that Chicago team, where it became a team-oriented game. The Golden State Warriors in modern time. You know what I mean? That's what they did. Curry, of course, would go out for 30 points or, late 28 points. But they won a lot of games because they were playing complementary, free-flowing basketball. Now, obviously, they don't have the skill no more to contend up there with big teams anymore, but it was less ego-driven. You look at an individual like Frank Vogel, he has an ego-driven basketball team, and that's why the Suns got swept. And then you look on the other end, Minnesota itself is coached by a great coach. I forget his name, but they're not ego-driven. Clearly the star is Anthony Edwards, but Anthony Edwards is not afraid to let another dude shine. He's not afraid to let Cat shine. He's not afraid to let Gobert shine. And these hot take artists, these annoying, they have some good takes at times, but these annoying, clicks-driven, eyeball-driven analysts, quote-unquote analysts, are just there to say the most sensational, out-of-pocket-ish possible. And that's why it's rough and tough to watch them. I salute Charles Barkley for calling out the nonsense and saying, hey, man, I don't like this. I don't like this. Darvin Ham and Frank Vogel are going to get fired. Of course they are. But now the Lakers are going to be on their, maybe at this point, their 5th coach in 7 years. Right? Like, what is that? How can a team succeed? How can a team do anything? And the Phoenix Suns, they're probably going to be trading Booker to New York, and now you just blow up your whole team. You get rid of Frank Vogel. Now you have KD on a huge contract, Beal on a huge contract, and you know that KD is no longer a number one option. Now you know that Beal is going to flop and disappear in the playoffs. He's going to turn into Washington Beal. Going nowhere in the Western Conference that is getting younger and better every single year, dog. But let's blame Frank Vogel when we didn't even give him a point guard. See, the people should get fired at Rob Pelinka and James Jones, the GMs, for constructing horrible teams and not putting complementary pieces around their stars and pushing for team basketball. Let me know what y'all feel in the comments. Shout out Sir Charles for calling it out. We need you. I need guys to hold these arrogant trash commentators in check. We love it. I'm out, bro.